When a child is born, has a partial identity, and the identity is being constructed in time. I would like to observe the European Union as being infant, being a young entity, being adopted by many parents, the state members. Now, if we're expecting the child to grow up overnight without sacrifices, without sharing part of our identity as parents, we are totally wrong. You have to do something about building that entity. So, why it's important to discuss the identity of each country? What I've done, I'm going to present to you. I studied 198 anthems. In the paper, I have only 14. Now, you see Romania as being broken apart. Since 1989, we have a semi-presidential system where the president and the prime minister always are fighting, and that stops this parent, this Romania parent of one of the parents of Europe, I would like to see it that way, stops from developing. And if you do not develop as parent, how can you expect your child to develop very well? Many people interpret the inclusion of Europe and inclusion of Romania and Europe more as Europe entering Romania. So that has to be changed if we want to grow and if we want to develop this entity. Anyway, today Dr. René Kuperus mentioned the fact that the European Union is very vulnerable. Yes, indeed. For the same reason, a child is very vulnerable. When it's young, we have to allow time for that child, for her, for Europe, to become, to build its immunity. If we, as a bioeconomist, I compare any of our deeds based on emotions, because everything we do is based on emotions. I compare with life, because everything is life. Life builds emotions, emotions conducts life. And if we understand that very well, then we will understand my presentation from now on. What does it have to do, everything you're talking about here, with national identity? Well, you will understand that. First of all, you see, Robert Schuman, 1950, since we're talking about 60 years from the foundations, the first bricks of European Union, Europe will not be made all at once, all according to a single plan. No. Since we are many, many parents, 27 parents as of now, we're having 27 different plans, and all of them must be treated equally, because I don't think somebody will be more powerful than the other one. We're talking about cultural diversity. We're talking about real values here. European identity is the sum of each identity in Europe. So we must pay attention to each one. Now, like I said earlier, with different words, I will reiterate, society shall be observed, seen as a macro-organism, where all the constitutive parts, like any member organ, are intimately, closely important to each other for the good functionality, development, health of each other. Make it short, my right hand can never get upset on my left hand for being lefty, for not being so handy. Because together we can lift something up and hold it, or embrace somebody, right? So any change basically stays at the base of life. Development, growth, you understand what I mean. The need for changes must be very well justified, deeply understood by people, since in a democratic country, the process implies a national referendum. If we talk about national symbols to be changed, to be updated, needs a referendum, but people cannot go and vote for something that they don't really understand why they're doing it and why they're doing it. And I call that informed democratic values and process, IDVP. I will refer further on to national anthems, to national symbols in general, flags and anthems, because they are interconnected. And I will put accent on the Romania case. Why we have to pay attention to those national anthems and to national symbols generally? Because they represent a small key to the big gate towards national identity. The problem is, what is happening if this key bends or it breaks? You'll never access that door. Some people will say, well, you're addressing subjects that, come on, we have so many other important issues. Let the anthems alone. Let it be. You know, we got priorities. Well, if you don't know who you are, you'll never know what direction you're going towards. You really have to know who you are. And then probably you have expectations from your children. So what the flags or the colors of the flags are used for? Well, we see the stadium being built and designed using the French colors of the French flag. Official meetings, sports events, and manifesting your anger, and also as a political attack. Barack Obama, during his several campaign activities, during the national anthem, he didn't put his hand on his heart, and he was heavily attacked for that. People pay attention to national anthems and to gestures. And he, as a senator, often he did not wear his pin depicting the flag. He was attacked. In Romania, in 2014, Victor Ponta, prime minister at that time, did not win the presidency for the fact that he was not able to intonate on a direct broadcast on a national television the national anthem. But Klaus Johannes was able to do that. And he won the presidency. This is how important it is to acknowledge the national anthems. Well, we have the flags used at protest, during the protest, and recently we had the Romanian flag. Let me know when.
10 minutes.
Oh, that's good. We used about 130,000 people that went on the streets against the government. They formed a human flag, and later on a European flag, as you can see in the pictures. Well, Americans, quite often they display without special occasion the American flag, which is a wonderful thing. I personally have those bird houses, as you see, on my yard, and in my house I have those two paintings that depict the Romanian flag. One will be for the new anthem I'm proposing for Romania, which is Un suflet de român, and the other one, Rugăciune pentru un anotimp, which means a pray for a new season. We're talking about social, political, economic season. Well, the flags are also used, mutilating them to transmit a message. Foreigners will burn the American flag. As well, Americans will burn the American flags on 4th of July, on the National Day, to show their unhappiness against their own government. They make a statement. In 1989, Romanian flag, the emblem was cut off to show the fact that they don't want any more communism. But that was a planned thing, because they could do another thing. They could have cut off from that emblem. Only the Soviet, the Russian, the Union, the USSR, meaning star, and they did not do that. Later on, we found out why. The security services, General Julian Vlad, 3 months ahead of time before the revolution, so that was not a revolution, that is documented. He planned what to do in those days. And he studied No Imbre file, security file, to see what happened in 1956, if I'm not wrong, in Hungary. And he copy-pasted the same idea, cutting the middle of the flag. With that, what happened? That was the flag with the emblem, depicting natural resources, oil, water, forest. And I have the description, I don't know if you can see it very well. Anyway, cutting off the emblem, soon after that, the new government sold out all the properties. At this time, Romania suffers the forest being mutilated, the waters are being sold, the oil went to strangers, to foreign interests. So, was that a mental programming, a neuro-linguistic programming? Like, hey, this is how we are, this is how we're supposed to be, accept that? Because people, they see things and they do that. Monkey see, monkey do. It's a say in English. So we continuing with the same thing. Prime Minister is one side, the President is on the other side, because the national anthem, it says the same thing. And later on, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to go faster. And I'll show you how the national anthem actually goes hand in hand with the mutilating of this flag. Don't understand me wrong. I'm not for the communism, but the communism could be cut off without cutting off the natural resources, meaning the emblem. This is the official flag as of now. And what's behind the flags? Lots of violence. This is the United States flag at the bottom, and grown up with every dominion that every state added on. Don't tell me they said, hey, Americans, I want to come with you. No. There was war, there was blood, and this is what's behind flags. And I use the American flag just because it shows more. But just about any flag has been built on blood. Flags are being burned against America, against Russia, and against many other nations. What is a national anthem? An anthem is what people make of it, said Esteban Boch in his article regarding the European anthem and Beethoven. I will cut it short because I want to allow time for other issues. They transmit positive and negative emotions. And those emotions come from people, but in the same time, those symbols feed people, becomes emotional food. And who you want to be, this is what your national anthem is. I observed the Georgia anthem, Moldova, Croatia, Russia. I consider it. I'm a member of the International Academy of Science through Russia. But don't take me wrong, I have no affinity to Russia at all. So if any interpretations are done in that direction, it is done by responsibility of the person that is making that interpretation. Canada is a great one. Iran, Syria, interesting. Now, I have national anthems with a very strong negative domestic and international impact. China, short, is calling for war. The old anthem they had, it was very peaceful. Right now, they're calling for war and goes hand in hand with their actions in the world. National anthem of France is probably the most violent anthems of all, and I consider there is a strong relationship between the words "may in pure blood water our fields" be a reason for the 340,000 more people that are foreigners, and most of them are also French citizens, being offended by those words? I mean, in pure blood, not that you say in pure blood, but water the fields. Come on, it's a little bit way too much. As a consequence, the French national anthem does not respect the European Commission directives number 43, year 2000. So, United States, we're having lots of violence in United States, and the anthem. I give details. I cannot go over them because I'm going to run out of time. On April 20th, I said 1976, it's a mistake. Last year, 2016, I made myself a present. I addressed President Obama a letter. I received a response from him, but with no reference at all to the issue itself, because there are papers that shows the fact that he wanted to change the national anthem, but his campaign advisors probably told him, "Shut up, you will never win the elections if you go on." I don't know, but there are some documents showing that, but I don't know exactly those documents, how real they are. Anyway, the national anthem of Hungary, it contains 0 first-person plural words, which calls for unity. It's no self-implication, does not exist. Self-implication does not exist in any verses of the Hungarian national anthem. I'm sorry to say that. I'm here in Hungary, but I want to do good. I don't want to insult anybody. Just I call for changes, not only Romanian anthem, but also the French, anything I'm talking about. David Lester, in 2011, he showed the direct relationship between suicide rates in 18 different European nations, the direct connection with the national anthems. Later on, we have the 6 scientists, Varos, Ozsván, Vince, Pusztany, Fekete, Rimmer, 2016, just a few months ago, as a fact, they showed the direct relationship between suicide rate in Hungary and the content of the Hungarian national anthem. So I wish you, the Hungarian, will consider to do something about that, because it's not me saying that. There are other people. I'm just putting information together and bring it to you here. I like the way it sounds like, but unfortunately I don't understand much. But I don't feel good either, because it's like a prayer, and I think prayers are prayers and anthems are anthems, and I do not suggest hymns being anthems, but not either the marches, because they're kind of too military, and I want the anthems to be demilitarized, no blood there. European Union, major problem, and no wonder Europe is shaking. Herbert von Karajan picked up the 9th Symphony, modified it, and with Berlin Symphony Orchestra, he recorded the Deutsche Grammophon, and he became the owner of the anthem, and he received protection, copyright protection, and the copyright protection was of a member of the Nazi Party for 10 years, from 1935 to 1945, and was not an accident. Herbert von Karajan applied to become a member of the Nazi Party in 1933. They were not accepting new people at that time, and he insisted. In 1935, his application was accepted, and he was given the membership number 3430914. I haven't seen the documents, but this is coming from a reputable paper, from a reputable and the information can be verified. 2 minutes, I will be done. Romanian national anthem. From the title and from the very first words is creating discrimination, saying you. I mean, all the time is talking in the second person singular. You wake up, Romania. I mean, I am awake, and since I am singing to you, that means I'm awake and you have a problem. Wake up, you are not, you worth nothing. And wake up from the deadly sleep, not just like being numb, deadly sleep. It's an insult all the way through, and also does not respect the Directive 43 from 2000, European Commission directives, due to the fact that it's including ethnic and racial discrimination. And three different instances. The heroes, Mihai, Ștefan, Corvin, they're not depicted as being great, but great shadows. Great, cold, black shadows. Great shadows. They're not alive in people's soul. They're shadows. And lots of cursing, lots of blood, lots of violence. And people are being compared with cattle. I mean, what national anthem will insult its own people? None. It's really, really rude as far as I'm concerned. Now, I conducted, I'm going to jump a little bit. Several people tried to change the flags also in the United States in 2014. The anthem, Senator Harkin, after 40 years of being in Congress, when came in to talk to say goodbye, said, listen, I got to tell you something out of my heart. For 40 years, I wanted to change the anthem. Now I cannot leave the office before telling you, you guys changed the anthem. And that was like, what? So anyway, New Zealand, Canada. This is a map of the anthems. They became official in the world. This is Senator Harkin while he was talking. It's a pickup from TV. Proposals for the national anthem. I handled 3 different proposals. 2 of them contain new musical scores. Before that, a news agency, learning the fact that I'm doing this, conducted a poll. 56% of the population of the respondents said yes, 56% they wanted my version. At that time, it was only one version. I conducted a poll too, and this is the market. I'm not going to go in detail. Whoever wants details. Anyway, 74% of the population do not identify with the present anthem. They want to have a national anthem. So I'm on the right direction to change the anthem. I'm not going to change it myself. I just propose. It's not about me, it's about the anthem. 26% only, they identify with the present national anthem in Romania. I've done the same thing with the flag, and you'll be surprised. 98% of the population, they want to have the flag changed. 98% of the population. I had like about 27,000 people exposed to the score. So it can be done, not easy, it can be done. But national identity stays very much based on our national symbols. We create the national symbols, but at the same time, national symbols are talking to us and tells us what we want and who we are. At the same time, I feel like the violence in the United States is very much due to the violent anthem, because it got into people's brain, into people's cells, that it's okay to be violent. It's okay. I mean, kids, 12 years old, pick up a gun and they go and shoot. And it's not a random. I mean, it's not a random thing. It's quite often. Everybody's. So I'm at the end of it. So we look for life on other planets, but hey, life is here on Earth, and let's respect life on Earth before we spending money to look for the source of life, the origin of life, and life on other planets. And I thank you very much, and I'd like to play to you a song. Since at 3 o'clock, can you somehow help me? It doesn't respond to my finger for some reason. Okay. This is the song. I wrote the text for it, and the music is the version of Radu Goldish. Of course, it's in Romanian, but maybe you get a feel of it. There is another version, another song by Petre Iordache, but I conducted a poll for people to select the two anthems. They are very close. This one got 57% and the other one 43%. I proposed to the parliament, the Romanian parliament, both of them, since I'm too close to the project, I cannot select one of the two versions. So you get a feel of how the new Romanian anthem might be. I think this is enough. It goes on for another 6
I think we got
stanzas. You got
point.
it.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this very interesting.
This is
and
the first
polemical-
time. This is the first time this national anthem is being. I mean, it's not the official national anthem. The first time when this song is being played in public, and I'm honored to do that here in Hungary, because I tell you one thing: the message is trying to unite the different nationalities in Romania, not to make a difference of blood, genetic origins, and the languages and whatever. I want to unite people, and the beginning of creating the European Union, which is a union, each identity, each state member got to have unity within their state. If you are not okay at home, how can you go out? That's my...
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Érdekes és polémikus